Hi everybody, Laura here for Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a fun project to share with you featuring the Mix and Match Circles, Stencil, and Stamp Set. And I'm going to adhere a panel of Neenah Solar White cardstock. I like to adhere it straight down onto my grid mat. That way it holds it steady. And I'm pulling out the Mix and Match Circle Stencil. And I'll adhere that down with a little blue painter's tape. And then I'm going to get to blending. I'm using Distress Ink, starting with one of my new favorite colors, KITSCH Flamingo. It's a delicious bubblegum pink, and I'm using some of these Altenew blender tools. I love these ones because they're large. You can cover a lot of area with minimal effort. I'm all about that. And then Wild Honey. I'm going to use another, I have a yellow. I have a few of these Altenew blender brushes, and I just use them for light colors. I'm only going to be using 3 colors on this background. KITSCH Flamingo, Wild Honey, and then lastly, a little speckled egg. But you can see when the colors overlap, you get that full spectrum happening. It's all about the overlap. And speckled egg, when it overlaps with KITSCH Flamingo, bada boom. And when it overlaps with Wild Honey, forget about it. Okay, so look at it. You could stop right here, but I ain't gonna. I'm gonna add a little subtle blending over top of the stenciling with the same colors. Totally optional, but I just kind of feel like it cuts down on that stark contrast and it makes it slightly, ever so slightly, a little more dreamy. And I'm just kind of here for that right now. Add a little bit of speckled egg, just a little dabble do ya. You got to do a light hand. Light rotation. Okay, so there you have it. Loving that look. Now we're going to zhuzh it up. We're using the Mix and Match Circles stamp set, and we're going to stamp some little doodads in the middle of the circles. Now I'm going to be using some Distress Inks in the same colors to stamp over top. Now I rarely use my Distress Inks for stamping, but you know what? I don't know why. Maybe I thought they didn't stamp well. But today, stamping like butter. And I love all the different choices of doodads that you can get that fit inside the circles. I'm having a time. This is tickling my fancy. Now, when the KITSCH Flamingo overlaps with a speckled egg, you get a gorgeous purple. I didn't have a Distress Ink in that shade, so I pulled out Simon Says Stamp Hydrangea, and that did the trick. And so I'm just, you know what? No rhyme or reason here. Just having fun, filling in the gaps. And trying to kind of match up the color, but not being too, particular. I feel like I'm creating my own pattern paper. Sometimes it's just nice to sit down without a plan. Actually, I'm standing. And just stamp. Blend and stamp and make something, and you don't know what you're going to get until you get it. Okay, and there we have it. Now I'm going to add a few little hearts. Stamping that speckled egg in the middle of that circle. And now for this bright pink one, I use picked raspberry, and that gives you that kick. Sometimes you need a little kick in the pants. Okay, so there you have this panel. She's finished. She's dreamy. She's Mix and Match Circles. I'm going to create a shaker window using the nested circle dies, and these are the Circle Thin Frames dies. So for the nested circle die, I'm just cutting a circle of acetate for my shaker window. And then I'm going to take this thin circle frame and die cut out of white cardstock. And it makes the skinniest little circle frame. This is going to create my shaker window. So first what I'm going to do is add a little bit of glue on the back of that circle frame and then slap on the acetate. Now, because I do not have any foam tape that is skinny enough to go behind this thin circle frame, what I did was I die cut 5 more. I'm going to stack them up. Tedious? Yes, because it's so skinny. I wish I had some spray adhesive. That would work fabulous for a job like this, but I don't. But luckily, this Barely Arts glue, which I'm in love with right now, it's got that precision needle tip. You can put on little dots, stack up the 5 circles, and then what I'm going to do is adhere this whole stacked up circle set onto my circle acetate window. And now you have a nice, sturdy, dimensional shaker window. Now before I adhere the circle window, I'm going to stamp a sentiment. I'm using the Greetings Mix 2 stamp set. I'm stamping this Solid Heart Hugs with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. It's bold and it just pops on that pattern background. I trim down the panel, popping it up on a white card base, get you a nice white border, makes you feel like your life's in order. Sprinkling on some these little iridescent hearts by Little Things from Lucy. Not too many, but not too little. Don't want to be stingy, but don't want to overfill. You got to find that sweet spot. Pop on the shaker window, and then I took an acrylic block, set it on there, let it, dry. Bada boom, you're done. And then you got to work it in. I find sometimes you got to test drive that shaker to get it to shake well. It needs to be like worked in. Bang it around. Do what you got to do. Work in the shaker. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sending you a bucket full of colorful heart hugs today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.